Hi guys, today we're going to make a delicious dessert inspired by the Michelin guide. Because when I was in France a couple of weeks ago, I bought this really cool Michelin guide that's from my birth year, so from 1994. And to pay tribute to France, I thought, why not make a dessert inspired by the Michelin star? So we're going to make a beautiful cremeux made from raspberry, a champagne and raspberry coulis, a white chocolate mousse, and a delicious almond and white chocolate crumble. So, let's begin. First, the raspberry cremeux. Transfer 500 grams of frozen raspberries in a bowl together with 50 grams of sugar. Now cover this very tight with plastic wrap and let it cook on a double boiler on a low heat for around 3 hours. Then remove the foil and let it drain on a sieve that's lined with a kitchen paper. Let it drain in your fridge. Once that's done, keep the raspberries for later. Now soak 2 leaves or 3.3 grams of gelatin in cold water. Then weigh 130 grams of the raspberry broth in a saucepan together with 100 grams of cream, 30 grams of sugar, 40 grams of egg yolk and 10 grams of cornstarch. Mix this and then while stirring, cook it to the desired thickness. Then dissolve your gelatin. Now pour the cremeux into a piping bag and fill your desired mold. The molds I use in this video are from Mold Brothers. Then scrape off any excess cremeux and let it set in your freezer for at least 3 hours. Now for the white chocolate mousse. First soak 2 leaves or 3.3 grams of gelatin in cold water. Then transfer 70 grams of sugar in a saucepan together with 30 grams of water and heat this up till it's 118 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, pour 90 grams of whole egg in a bowl and start beating it. Once the eggs are fluffy and the sugar has the right temperature, slowly add it to the eggs and beat it till gold. While it's beating, pour 100 grams of cream into a saucepan and bring it to a boil. Then turn off the heat, dissolve your gelatin and also add 180 grams of white chocolate. Mix this. Now pour 200 grams of cream into a bowl and beat it till it has a yogurt thickness. Once the egg mixture has cooled down, stop beating and add it to the white chocolate ganache. Fold this together and when it's at room temperature, add it to the whipped cream. Also fold this together. Then transfer it into a piping bag and fill your desired mold all the way. Now tap the tray a couple of times to remove any air bubbles. Then scrape off any excess mousse and let it set in your freezer for at least 5 hours. Next, the raspberry coulis. Transfer 250 grams of the raspberry trimmings into a blender and also add 300 grams of champagne. Then cut a vanilla pod in half, scrape out the seeds and add them to the blender. Now blend this till smooth. Once smooth, pass it through a fine sieve and use a ladle to be sure that you don't waste a single drop. Cover it and keep it in your fridge for later. Then the crumble. Pour 80 grams of flour on your worktop together with 100 grams of sugar, 100 grams of butter, 2 grams of flaky salt, 100 grams of almond powder and 40 grams of melted white chocolate. Knead this till it's a nice dough. Now spread it on a silicone sheet and bake it at 160 degrees Celsius for around 25 minutes till golden. Mix it every 5 minutes with a whisk. Then let it cool down and keep it dry and covered for later. Now the vanilla oil. For this, just transfer some olive oil in a preserving jar and add a couple of empty vanilla pods. Mix it well and then let it sit out of the fridge so all the flavors can come together. Now the chocolate brush. I still had some from a previous video, but it's just a mix of 1 part of melted cocoa butter with 1 part of melted white chocolate and then it's colored with a red fat soluble coloring powder. Then pour it into a brushing machine. Now put a layer of foil on a tray and transfer the raspberry cremeux on there. Then we can brush them. I always do this outside. Just add a thin layer to the frozen cremeux, otherwise the brush can fall off. Keep them in your freezer for later. Now remove the white chocolate mousse from the mold and then we can start to plate. First lay 3 mousses in a circle on a plate and put the cremeux in between. Now fill the cremeux with the crumble and pipe a layer of the coulis on the white chocolate mousse. Put some cut raspberries on the crumble, decorate them with root ruff flowers and then finish the dessert with a couple drops of the vanilla oil. Okay guys, that's it for today. I am super pleased with the result. The dessert looks amazing and the flavors are there for sure because champagne, raspberry, white chocolate and vanilla, what's not to love? But I think the texture is also great because if I try the white chocolate mousse, yeah, it falls apart when you touch it. I mean, that's just perfect. You can add a little leaf of gelatin if you want to be more certain that it's gonna hold, but for me this is really perfection on the mousse, because otherwise it's too firm, you know, I don't like that. So let's just dig in. I'm gonna take a spoonful of everything, like so. That's amazing. First you start with the white chocolate, it's pretty fat. But then the raspberry comes and then that's the freshness. And now I can taste the little drops of vanilla oil. And of course the vanilla is also in the coulis. But oh, that's delicious. And the crumble is also really nice with the white chocolate and the almond. It's amazing. Let's just have a little sip. Yeah. This, for me, is almost a perfect dessert. Because I'm a big ice cream fan and you can wake me up for ice cream anytime for sure. But this dessert doesn't have any ice cream. I didn't put any ice cream on for a reason. Because I really wanted this dessert to be the Michelin star. Because I was in France and I thought, okay, I want to do a dessert inspired by my trip to France. And there was a really cool little shop in France where they sold old Michelin star guides, and I bought one from my birth year, so 1994. And then I came up with this, and I maybe could have done a parfait, but I love parfait, but I think a cremeux in this style is better. So at the end, it is a perfect dessert. So don't worry about what I said about the ice cream. Ice cream is nice, but not on this dessert, because I just want to continue eating. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm really pleased. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Like and share the video. And subscribe if you want to support my channel and see more amazing cooking videos. And as always, bon appetit!